leaders of faith groups, ministers and priests and pastors of the Christian denominations, Mrs. Lema Garce, leaders and captains of industries and business houses, and the chambers of commerce, Rotary clubs and Lion clubs of Suva and its districts. Presidents, vice presidents, board members, and leaders of the coalition parties of the coalition government of Fiji. The oldest, the National Federation Party, next senior in years, Sodalpa, and the junior and youngest, the People's Alliance. The President of the Methodist Church in Fiji, Reverend Wunswai, the General Secretary, Reverend Simone Turobo, your brother ministers, Reverend Ruben and Reverend Kadime Wai. I'd like to acknowledge a special friend here this afternoon. Some of you know him, some of you know of him. We've been friends since he was involved and I was sort of supervising him in the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme. I was rewarded when he was awarded his gold medal. I think he made the gold, or used his gold to make his own gold medal. Him at Laudia. My brother and my friend. Him and I go back many years. When people were turning away from me, Hemant came alongside and befriended me. And I took him to Washington to attend the presidential prayer breakfast. We came back, and the brothers in America brought him a Bible. That Bible sits in his office in Cumming Street today. He's here with his brother Harry. Harry, welcome. We have so many friends here. They have had different impacts on our lives. They've contributed to the making of the people we are. Their fingerprints are all over our lives and our persons of today. We acknowledge them and we thank them for being part of our journey. When campaign started, Dreu Roshi Mbatimala called from Singatoka, from Nandunga, asking if we could authorize her to write a song and its music for us for the victory celebration. We were just beginning to campaign. We sent her some money, and I warn out our treasurer that we have not completed paying her, and I hope we will finish the payment and also the payment for the recording of the music we heard this afternoon. We're so blessed to be here. And as Deputy Prime Minister Manoa has said, if someone had told us that this service would be like this, very few would have believed us. We acknowledge our coalition partners and the leadership of those two parties. We thank you for your faith. We thank you for believing in what we can do collectively for Fiji. We don't have it on our own in People's Alliance. National Federation Party don't have it on their own. And Sudelpa doesn't have it on their own. But the power of unity, the power of unity has brought us together. And I think they made me Prime Minister because I'm the oldest in the group. I'm reminded of the story of the Exodus. When Moses started off, he was told by his father-in-law, and Moses was already 80. So his father-in-law would have been a lot older. And his father-in-law told him, "Hey, Moses, my boy, you're not doing that right. You got to divide the people up and have leaders. Leaders of 10s, leaders of 50s, leaders of 100s, leaders of 1,000, and so on. Otherwise, you'll tire yourself out." I think I'll tire myself out at 80 if I try to do that on my own. I'm glad that now I have so many to help me as we start on this journey. I thank my Deputy Prime Ministers and their party supporters. I thank all of you for your faith, not only in us, but your faith in the goodness of the people of Fiji. There's a lot of goodness in our people, but most of all, our faith in God. We had our covenant worship this morning, and all the three congregations at Batshit City Mission Church, Wesley City Mission Church, came together. We didn't have enough room. I go to the 8 o'clock communion service and 10:45 communion service. And when I went there on Christmas Day after swearing in, my security detail asked me, "Sir, where do you sit?" I said to them, I'm a bass in the choir. I sit with the choir. They were surprised. I don't think they've ever seen the Prime Minister in the bass seat of the bass pews of a choir. And I think there's not many in the world who have Prime Ministers sitting in the choir. We have one of our Deputy Prime Ministers, a bishop in his church, and I thank him for being humble enough to accept being deputy to me. Bill. We have a professor, an acknowledged academic in the Pacific, or perhaps in the world, who is humble enough to accept Deputy Prime Minister to work with me. We have my own deputy leader in the People's Alliance, Manoa, who's also established himself in the private sector, but still humble enough to come and be a deputy in the party and deputy in cabinet. So many of us have made sacrifices. So many of us have done a lot. Only a few of us sit in cabinet and in parliament. And I pray that you will not lose faith in us. And I also urge my colleagues in parliament, in cabinet, and the assistant ministers, please, do not let our supporters down. They've stood with us through thick and thin. Let's keep them with us. And to our supporters, those of us in Parliament will now run the government.